See Nature TV, news in your pocket.
Welcome back. Now, Nigeria today faces a soaring cost of living that touches every aspect of daily life. And so with that in mind, let's unpack what's really driving this crisis and what it means for ordinary people. Joining us via the phone this morning is Mr. Oluwafemi Fayomi. He is a lecturer, Department of Political Science, Federal University, Oye-Ekiti. Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, madam. Good morning.
All right. Now, first of all, how would you assess the current cost of living situation in Nigeria? And, what would you say are the factors that are affecting it?
Well, thank you. Good morning, Uncle, and good morning, Nigerians. Yeah, before I go into what are those factors that has been accounting for the rising cost of living, it will be nice to say one or two things about what cost of living is. When you are talking about cost of living, we are talking about the total amount of money required to cover basic expenses. Total amount of money required to cover the basic expenses of life to make you to have a standard of living. Cost of living has to do with the total amount of money you need to buy food, you need for house rentage, you need for transportation, the money that you need to send your children to school, the money that you need to take care of your health if you fall sick. So this is what cost of living is. And if you have a cost of living that is high, it goes that the standard of living will be low. And if you have a cost of living that is low, then the standard of living will be high. Now, going back to your question, that is what the factors that have accounted for the rising costs in living condition of Nigerians. You recall that on May 29, 2023, when the president came in, he announced that subsidy is gone. That 3 words actually prepare the ground for the rising cost that we are having up to today. When subsidy was removed, every other prices goes up. So this is one factor that has accounted for the rising cost of living in Nigeria. And when you talk about rising cost of living, you cannot do it without talking about inflation. Okay, inflation is a direct cause of the cost of living. Inflation, what you use to buy, the money you buy commodity last year, when you go to the market and buy the same commodity, you will have discovered that it has gone higher. So that is what inflation does to cost of living. And again, the poor transportation network that we have in Nigeria, poor infrastructure that we have in Nigeria is also a contributing factor to the rising cost of living in the country. And another one has to do with inadequate salary and wages. You recall that before last year, the national minimum wage was 30,000. Okay, now the minimum wage has been increased to 70,000. When you go to the market now, that minimum wage cannot take you to anywhere. Okay, so the inadequate salary and wages is another factor that is accounting for the rise in the cost of living in Nigeria. In addition to the one that I mentioned, you also talk about the energy cost, the cost of electricity. Okay, you recall the government has been implementing a policy that they call bandalization of electricity user when you have bandi to E. So these all put together are factors that have contributed to the rising cost of living. But I need to add that in recent times, just probably this month or last month, you find out that the cost of some commodities in the markets are beginning to come down, particularly rice. I think a bag of rice costs about 59 to 60,000 naira or thereabout now, averagely. Okay, but other basic necessity of life are continue to be on the increase. You recall now recently school fees is on the high side. Okay, so these are some of the factors that are responsible for the rise in the cost of living. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Fayomi, I believe that Nigeria must have actually had a golden era. Can you actually do a comparison of Nigeria before and Nigeria now? You know, having the cost of living in mind. You know, and then do an analysis of the impact of this high cost of living on an average Nigerian.
Yes, if you are looking at the comparative analysis, are we talking about 1960 to date, or let me just limit it to the last administration of President Buhari that ended on May 29, 2023, and the current administration of President Tinubu. When you do a comparative analysis of what was before Tinubu came into power, you find out that the situation is not the same. For instance, the exchange rate in 2023 May was around 450 or thereabouts. What is the exchange rate now? It has been offering between 1,005 to 1,005. Okay, and if you also look at the price of fuel, how much was it on May 29 before the announcement? I think it's about 180 to 190, 200 per liter. Now it's about almost I think about the last one 865 in Ilorin. Okay, now. There was a time that it gone up to like almost 1,005 that you are buying fuel in the black market. Okay, the cost of diesel also has gone up, the cost of kerosene. Okay, so when you do a comparative analysis from before Tinubu came in and now, the difference is clear. The impacts on Nigeria can only be imagined. And now, one of the effects or one of the impacts that Nigerians are facing has to do with reduction in their purchasing power. What the value of 1,000 naira in May 2023 is not the same now. Okay, what that means is that the standard of living of Nigerians are becoming worse than it was before May 29, 2023. If you also look at the poverty rates, okay, the number of Nigerians that are living in abject poverty have increased over the years. Okay, at the time Nigeria was regarded as the poverty quarter of the world. Okay, where over 100 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor. Okay, so the impacts on Nigerians are enormous. Okay, some family could no longer have their 3 square meal as they would have wished. Some now ration what they eat. Maybe they might decide to eat in the morning and also take another one in the afternoon. I mean in the evening. Some even have gone to a meal per day. Okay, many parents have pulled out their children from private schools, public schools, because they could no longer afford the price or the cost of education, the cost of the school fees that they are giving them. Okay, many people who have their own cars have abandoned their cars and they now join public transport. So the impact is so much. The impact is so much. Thank you.
All right. Now, while you were talking about the factors that contribute to this cost of living in Nigeria, you mentioned the issue of fuel subsidy, and from there, you know, the rest that you mentioned are like ripple effect of the fuel subsidy mostly. Now, I'd like to ask you, in retrospect, how would you evaluate the timing and the implementation of this fuel subsidy removal policy, considering that, you know, the Nigerian government had several reasons for removing the subsidy, but what would you say about the timing of the removal and the implementation of the removal and how it has affected the citizens?
Hello?
We're with you. Please continue.
Okay, just like you said, the removal of the subsidy is a welcome development. As a matter of fact, because of the fraud associated with the subsidy regime, a lot of Nigerians have actually called on the government to find the lasting solution to the corruption that we had in the subsidy during the subsidy regime. Now, when the government came into power on the first day, you are not studying, you don't have enough information, you don't have enough intelligence on the state of the country at that time, and you announce, bam, that the subsidy is gone without having programs in place to cushion the effects of the subsidy. Although the government came up with what they call some palliatives. They gave palliatives to some people. They roll out wage award of 35,000 to federal civil servants, and some state governors also did that too. But in all, I think the government should have made it a gradual complete withdrawal of the first subsidy. Maybe they should have given a timeline. More so when there was a budget to cater for the month of June 2023 in the budget, the one presented, the budget handed over to the president. He shouldn't have gone ahead to remove the subsidy completely a month before the actual takeoff. And you recall that along the line, at a point, there was a kind of reintroduction of subsidy, because the government at a point, when the cost of oil at the international market go higher, the government has to find a way to go through the back door to be paying subsidy. So my take is that the government shouldn't have gone one switch. Shouldn't have gone that complete removal. They should have made it in phases. Okay, maybe by the end of December 2020, like the tax policy that is just introduced now. You know, you are signing it into law some months back, some weeks back. But he said the implementation will have to take effect from January 2026. So everybody will have aligned, will have been planning, so that we have been planning to find a way to react to whatever shock they may have following the removal of the subsidy. So it shouldn't have been that.
All right, Mr. Oluwafemi Olafayomi, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mary.
All right, we apologize, but we'll have to cut you short here. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And yes, we just spoke to a lecturer of the Department of Political Science, Oyo Ekiti, and we just spoke about unpacking the cost of living in Nigeria with Oluwafemi Olafayomi. Thank you for staying with us on that segment. Now we'll go on a short break. When we return, Signature Morning continues.